When it comes to marketing your academy, it's not enough just to teach great classes. You need to be able to meet your potential customers where they're at in their current frame of mind. One of the ways that we can start to do that is by understanding the 5 stages of awareness. This is an idea proposed by a legendary marketer called Eugene Schwartz in a book called Breakthrough Advertising. And it's what we're going to be discussing today. This is a foundational element in a successful marketing campaign. Because if we do not meet them where they are ready to receive our offer, it's going to be completely wasted money. Okay, and this can help solidify that. So when we start to think about marketing our classes, it's not about the art that we teach. It's not about jiu-jitsu. It's not about kickboxing. It's not about MMA. It's all about like what the student will get from training with you. It's there to, your classes are going to solve a problem. Okay, they're going to solve a pain that they're experiencing. They're going to help them achieve their goals faster. That's what we're trying to get to when we start to market our classes. Because as much as I'd love to say that everybody starts jiu-jitsu because they want to train jiu-jitsu, that's not real. Everybody starts for their own reasons. And when you're promoting your academy, you need to be thinking about that. And each marketing campaign that you do, or you should reflect a specific problem that people are likely to encounter and promote your academy towards a solution for that. Okay, so in terms of the basic stages of awareness, there are 5 stages. Number 1 is unaware. Number 2, problem aware, and solution aware, product aware, and most aware. Okay, these are pretty kind of self-explanatory, but just to go through them in a little bit greater depth. The first one is unaware. Essentially, the prospect is they don't know that they have a problem, or they're unwilling to admit that problem out loud, okay, which is also really important to make sure we understand that. The second one, problem aware, is that they understand a problem, but that they have a problem, but they're not sure of any solutions, okay, they don't necessarily know it exists yet, okay. What they need to do then is go to solution aware, which is where they're aware of the problem and that there's a potential solution out there to that issue. Then you want to become product aware, where your potential customer is they know the problem, they know there's a solution, and they are aware of your product plus your competitors, and you want to promote your product as being the best thing for them at that time. Okay, so you want to make them aware of your classes to speak. And then the final one is most aware. They know all about your classes. They're ready basically, and they're hot to go. They want to start classes, but they need like a little bit of an incentive to take that next step, to try a class, to do whatever. Okay. When we understand this kind of these 5 stages of awareness, we can start to plan our marketing accordingly. Because the further up the pool that we are, further up the unawareness scale, so totally unaware, the less direct our marketing can be. Okay, we need to be slightly more, I'm going to say covert, might not be the right word, but it needs to be a little bit more educational. Okay, we'll talk about this in greater depth in a second, but that's what we need to do. The problem is that most martial arts school, they only ever focus on the smallest market segments, which is either product aware, so people that are already aware of your classes, what they can do for you, and the most aware, where they're just looking for like an incentive, they're waiting for that sale. Okay, and those are tiny segments. Okay, they're really small parts of the market. If you want to get like a consistent flow of leads coming into your academy, you need to start going up to either solution aware or the problem aware as well. They are much greater volumes of people, and the unaware is by far the biggest, but it's also the hardest to target as well, because they're not either willing to admit that they have a problem, or they just don't know that that problem exists. So they're very difficult to reach. Okay, but in terms of like numbers, let's say you have 1 million at the unaware, then you're going to have 100,000, then 10,000, then 1,000, and then 100 are going to be the most aware. So you can see that pool just gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Okay. And by only ever focusing on those bottom 2 segments of the awareness scale, you're really limiting the volume of leads you can get. You need to create more education around what you're doing. Rather than like talk about this in like these kind of marketing terms, I want to give you a very real example of something that I went through quite recently. Okay, and I'm going to show you like every step of how it relates to kind of the buying journey and the bits that I went through. So not too long ago, Chelsea and I bought a new mattress. Okay, when we first moved over to the UK, we got something that was kind of, pretty cheap, but did the job, worked okay. gradually over time, what we started to find is that it just wasn't supporting us. It was too soft for me, too hard for Chelsea. Like, we'd wake up in the mornings and, you know, it would just feel clunky, okay? And it's a really common thing that people experience. Like, you know, it takes time for that stiffness to build up in your like in your body, like from having bad night's sleeps. You know, you don't sleep as well, you get tired, all of those things happen, okay? And essentially in that period from, you know, having the mattress, getting through all of that kind of like nights and nights of just, you know, being uncomfortable, waking up unfeeling, then you go to, like, actually, I've got a bit of a problem with my mattress. Okay, I need to fix this because I'm just, you know, I spend, 8 hours a day minimum in my bed. I want to be comfortable and I don't want to wake up just feeling like trash every morning. So then you become aware of the problem, which is what we did recently. You know, we were like, okay, look, we've got to get something better. Like, every morning we just get creaking out of bed. So we made the decision to go and look for a mattress. Okay, now obviously we knew the problem was that we were waking up kind of cranky and stiff and, you know, weren't sleeping great, really uncomfortable. There was a divot in the mattress, so Chelsea was rolling towards me. We knew that we needed to get a mattress. That was our problem. Okay, and the solution was that we needed to get a new mattress and we need to find one. It's a pretty simple one for most people. They understand that that's the easiest solution. The next thing that we did is we went to a store. Now, my knowledge of mattresses, like most people, isn't that great. Okay, it's, I would say, rudimental at best. So we went to the store and they put us through I think they called it a sleep test or something along those lines, a mattress test. And it was essentially to find out, you know, what would suit us best, like whether we like firm mattresses, whether we'd be better in, you know, softer mattresses, all of that kind of stuff. So they put us in this test. From there, they gave us a bunch of different options based on like our needs, you know, our sleeping positions, you know, curvature of our spine, all kinds of different things. So then they start to talk to us about the different products. So, you know, like gel mattresses, pocket sprung, wall mattresses, memory foam, all those different things. And they started to guide us through the different options that we had. Okay, some were, you know, relatively cheap, some were more expensive. But it started to give us an understanding of the different products that they had available and what was going to start to suit us best, because every one we had to lay down on. The final one was like, we went to the most expensive mattress last, which happened to be a Tempur one, and we laid on it. Like, and we knew pretty instantly that this was the mattress that we wanted, but it was also the most expensive. Like, it was that, like, man, this feels like when you lay down on them, if you've never lain down on a Tempur mattress, it's just like, my body just went, oh. Like, it gave like a sigh of like relief. I was and you know, even after like 5 minutes of laying down, I actually felt like a little bit better. It might have been completely psychosomatic, but that's how I felt coming out of it. And so like quickly we'd gone from all of these different options of mattresses into the one that we really wanted, but it's by far the most expensive. Now at that point, my awareness of Tempurs, I had seen them many, many years ago. I'd lain on one many years ago, way too expensive. They have pretty good brand recognition. They're all to do with NASA, like get really decent reviews. But at that point that we were trying out, the salesperson actually walked away for a few seconds. And what it allowed me to do was to go online. I had a quick, you know, scout for different reviews of Tempur mattresses, see if they were actually worth the price, you know, long term. And also compare price with other stores as well around the area. So I was then very aware that that product is what I wanted. This is what I want to get to. Can I justify it in my own brain? What happened is they came back and went, oh, we actually have a special offer on right now. If you buy this mattress, I think it's only available for the next couple of days, you're going to get 2 free pillows and £100 off, I think they gave us as well. Which is basically, it's about 350 quid's worth of stuff on top of the mattress. And then they threw in like free recycling of our old mattress. And I went from being just like product aware, this is what I want, I'm going to wait for it, you know, see if a sale comes up, to being like, I'm going to buy this right now because this is a great deal. And that's a typical buyer's cycle. You know, it's really common. It can take place over, you know, the initial like unawareness to not accepting the problem, which is the first stage. For us, that was like probably a year. Really long period of time. But the fact that when we did make that decision to go and try it, the solution to the actual purchase of the product was quick. It was like a day. It was less than a day. It was probably like 4 hours. And that can be exactly the same for people coming through your cycle as well. If we start to relate this kind of more directly to jiu-jitsu, you want to start to educate people through those different things. Let me give you a really good example off the top of my head that relates directly to our niche. Now, one of the biggest reasons I'm sure you're aware that people start jiu-jitsu is because they want to get fit. Okay, it's a really big thing. It's one of like the big five that people, big five reasons that people start. Okay. But that doesn't necessarily happen. Like someone doesn't necessarily just turn up one day. It's a process. You know, maybe they're out. You know, they're living their lives. They're you know, eating whatever people eat, taking takeaway, yada yada yada. You know, they're not necessarily the most healthy lifestyle. And then maybe even they go to the gym, but they're not committed to it. They're like a little bit bored. And then one day they step on the scales and they realize that they've gained 10 kilos, and they're like, oh my goodness, this is terrible. And they might not do anything about it right then. You know, they might just be, okay, 10 kilos, no worries. You know, maybe I'll change my diet a little bit, try and clean up. And then they do something else. And then, you know, a month later, they're up another 2 kilos. And they're at this point, it's like, wow, I really have to start making a change in my life. So now what they've gone from like being unaware and, you know, over a period of years, bumping up 10 kilos to being very aware of the problem. And maybe there's some compounding factors. You know, maybe it starts to get harder to walk upstairs, or, you know, they feel tired from playing with their kid more frequently, or whatever. They realize that they have this problem. They're not in great shape. You know, they're in their 30s. It's getting harder to maintain the want, and they decide to look for some kind of way to keep fit or get in shape. So they now are aware of that problem. The next step that they're going to do is start to do some research in it. Okay, they're going to look for a solution. And they might have even tried things beforehand. You know, like I said, they might have been to the gym and it might not have worked for them. It might not have, you know, they might have tried like, what else? They might have even tried martial arts before. They might have tried a number of different activities, rock climbing, whatever it is. But those things haven't worked for them in the past. They're looking for a solution. And they come on to, like, let's say they suddenly have this advert crop up, which is, you know, the 5 best ways to get in shape that you'll love right now. Okay, it's providing a solution. Oh, I'm interested in getting shape. You know, let's see what they are. And it's just like an ebook or an article or a blog post that's just educating people on different ways they can get in shape. And one of those things is jiu-jitsu, and that piques their interest. They're like, oh, I kind of heard about this. I've heard about this MMA stuff. You know, I'd like to know more about it. You know, maybe I watched the UFC as I'm doing it. You know, and I've thought about trying it, but I've never really thought about it in the context of getting fit. I didn't really know that was an option. So they now have some idea about the different solutions that are going on. And then following on from that, maybe they see an ad for your classes or a testimonial or, you know, something that says something like, let me see, we're going to go for the product awareness, like, you know, sign up for a free class. You know, and they're like, okay, maybe I want to do this. Or like, you know, interested in starting jiu-jitsu would be a good headline, you know, or thought about trying jiu-jitsu. You know, here's some reasons why you might want to consider trying it. Here's a free trial. And they jump into the free trial because it looks cool. Maybe you throw in a couple of extra things like you're going to do like a free fitness consultation as well. Seems like a really good offer that they're going to get. So they've gone through those stages. They're product aware. They're aware of you. You know, but maybe they're also looking at your competitors as well. So they're like, you know, they've got the other websites open, you know, the different gyms in your area, and they're seeing, you know, how you compare, like what's your timetable look like? What's your, you know, do you have reviews up on there? Can they see your prices? You know, do you seem to, you know, focus on that area that they're looking for if it's fitness? And then you start to contact them, and you know you're in contact. They say, hey, you know, this is what's going on in our classes. You know, I'll look at this free technique. You know, here's Joe, who's, you know, he's lost 10 kilos since starting work with us. And you're building that rapport with that, building that relationship, and making that the buying decision for them. And then one day and the next day, it's like, hey, if you sign up in March, you're going to get 20% off your membership for life. That's going to then bump them into that most aware category, and it's going to give them the bump that they need to get over it. So that's like a real buying situation that people go through. And if you talk to your students, you get feedback from them. These are the things that you're going to get from them. Like, yeah, you know, I was, you know, another example would be self-defense, you know, John was really happy at school, like if it's a parent, for example, John was really happy at school, and then, one day he came home in floods of tears and told me they'd been bullied, so I was looking for an option for him, and it goes through the same place. And then it's like, oh, I saw your ad, or I saw I got a recommendation off somebody. I started to look into, maybe they're at school, the school gate, for example, and another parent's like, oh yeah, my son's just started martial arts. It was really great for them. So they do a search for martial arts in their area, and your academy pops up. Oh, this looks cool, and they go through the cycle. Okay, so that's how it starts to play out in the real world and in the martial arts world as well. And you want to start thinking about that, like the less, as I said, the further up that awareness scale, or the lower down, depending on how you look at it. So if they're unaware, the less direct you need to be. Okay, it's not going to be about jiu-jitsu. You don't even want to mention jiu-jitsu, for example. You can touch on it briefly, but that initial thing is like, rather than like, have you thought about trying jiu-jitsu classes? Like, are you looking to get in, lose 10 kilos? Like, are you looking to get in great shape? Maybe, you've piled on the pounds over the last couple of years, whatever it is. Like, take that pain point, that point, and turn it into something. It's like, then you go like, okay, these are 5 things that have worked. Here's jiu-jitsu is one of them, and you build out from that process. Okay, so that is really, really crucial. And, excuse me, each of your kind of ads needs to reflect on one of those different things. Okay, so if you're targeting just problem-aware people, so getting onto like organic and paid marketing, they're 2 different things. If you're doing paid marketing, you can do, within most of the things, you can target people that are kind of interested in fitness, and then you can show them your solution. Okay, so by targeting them, you already know they're aware of what you want to do. Like, you already know that they're interested in fitness, or maybe losing weight or whatever. And within your ad, you go, hey, maybe you've thought about losing weight, would be the first part of the ad. Next part of the ad is going to be jiu-jitsu can burn up to 800 calories an hour, as shown by a Harvard study. Product aware is, we're presently, offering a free trial in all of our classes. Here's what some of our members said. And, or right now you're going to, get 20% of your membership, or whatever you want. So if you're going for that problem aware, you have to fit all of those different things in. If you have another niche market where maybe it's people who have, they're already aware of the solution, they're looking at different products, then all you need to do is talk about the solution. Jiu-jitsu is a great way to start losing weight. I'm sure you've heard that, whatever. These are our classes. This is our product that we have. These are what some of our students say. This is the offer that we have. So we only need to do solution, problem, and then, present our offer at the end of it. If they're already in the product awareness phase, then it's just like, here's our classes. These are awesome. This is what some of our students have experienced. Here's our offer. And then the final one, which is like the most direct, like people that have really interacted with what you're doing. It's just, here's our offer. This is a special offer we're running for the next 7 days, and it bumps them over the line. But all of this has to happen in it's not like a single thing. Like I said, it's paid advertising, it's organic advertising, it's, having different campaigns running, it's, what your website looks like, having these things up on your website, that is going to really put everything together. Okay. And like I said, that buying journey, and even, after that as well, like the next stage, when they sign up for a free trial, for example, that's not the end of the buying journey. The next bit they need to be doing is like, they've signed up for a class, which means they're in that kind of product awareness phase. You need to reinforce that buying decision of like, this is a great, this is, our classes are awesome. These are all the things that our students have got. You need to reinforce it with like email campaigns, with like free, like what actually happens on the free trial. Like if you know they're interested in fitness, then you can talk to them about fitness. That's how you're going to really start to develop a lot of leads. So I hope that makes sense. Like, I'm going to do another video about more kind of like factual things about like how we start to create ads, the different types of ways that we can get leads, but having an understanding, like a foundational understanding of these 5 different levels of awareness and how they fit in with your business is so important. Okay, because otherwise all you're doing is you're trying to fire your offer at people that aren't ready to receive it. And it's going to be a waste of your time, a waste of money, and ultimately it's not going to allow for like a large volume of leads coming in continuously. So if you have any questions, please comment below, and if you'd like the notes, just let me know as always. Talk soon.